Welcome again, y'all. I'm glad y'all are here. And today I'm going to talk about the same thing, but more of the mindset shift or some of the energy that might help us to really manage this part with ease. Because one thing that Retro talked about was the consistency of it, right? Sometimes it's just difficult to be consistent with something. And it's not until we start to be consistent that we really start to see the evidence of whatever it is we're doing. Okay. Sometimes we start a good habit or start a good routine and it feels good and it's fun. And that beginning momentum is sometimes enough to propel us forward a little bit and keep us afloat. But if we are not being consistent with the habit building, that won't be enough. And then sometimes it starts to dip. So some of those things that might hold us back from building that consistency are time and priority management. Sometimes we think it's just time management, but really, family, a lot of it is how we're managing our priorities. How are we for real? Are we putting more time to the things that are actually important to us, or are we putting more time to bullshit? Are we putting equal time to the things that we know is going to get us the most growth, or are we allowing distractions to get in the way? So time and priority management go hand in hand. Something else that keeps us from building that consistency is organization. Sometimes we're just all over the place. That's not a negative thing. It's just that sometimes we have a lot of ingredients that we want to put into the pot, and we just have to figure out how to organize them in the best way so that we can be consistent and don't end up hitting that wall that looks like it's just too much and I want to disengage. Okay. And a third thing that can keep us from being consistent is not having an aligned goal or not having any goals for what we're doing at all, which, aligns with what Recap was saying about knowing your audience, knowing your niche, knowing what you're doing and why, right? So, what are some things that we can do to support with that priority management? I'm going to share a resource with y'all later on. I don't have it up right now, but um, when I finish talking, I'll have I can concentrate on going to find it so I can show. And if not, you'll definitely have a link to it. But it's a worksheet that helps us to basically learn where are we wasting time. Okay, we all have done it, and we all might still do it in certain ways, just being distracted, playing games, or just scrolling, consuming more content than we're actually putting out. All right, and sometimes those things happen in waves, and it's okay. Give ourselves grace. All right. But then when we are ready to make a move, all right, we buckle down and we start to really get serious about where is my time going? How am I using it? And how can I pull even 5 minutes a day into push into this goal? Because even 5 minutes a day can start to turn into 10 minutes, 30 minutes into an hour, right? And so now we're starting to get more balance in how we're using our time. I'm going to share that resource with you all. But something else we can do with that is to build this into our schedule. And I don't know how everyone's schedule is in the chat. Like I'm not sure, or even if you're watching the replay, right? If you have a more flexible schedule where you can make your own, if you're more in the entrepreneur vibe, or if you're in the 9 to 5 world, in that case, it might be a little bit more difficult to because your time is held up by the job, like for a certain amount of times a day of the week. So it's okay. Find time, find the time, create the time. If you are making your own schedule, it's even better because you can decide, okay, when I wake up, I do this, I do this, I do that. And on these days, at these times, is when I get into whatever it is to repurpose my content. For example, on this day, I go back and watch the entire VOD that I did in my live stream. And on this day, and I'm being intentional, right? I'm clipping the moments, okay? And then on this day, I go and edit those clips into whatever story I like to tell, right? That's just an example of how you can build that into your schedule, whether you're making your schedule all 24 hours, 7 days a week, or if you are looking at the time that you have in your day from work, school, family, whatever other responsibilities that you have going on, and saying, okay, here's where I can take some of my time back. Taking some of your time back. Hold on, here go the dirt bikes. If the dirt bikes get like loud, let me know and I'll get my headphones. So and that will reduce some of the background noise. But sometimes, family, the hardest thing to do is to stand in our power and say, nah, this time is for me. Okay. So that's another part of that mindset shifting, to feel strong enough and to feel empowered to say no. No, I can't go here today. No, I can't do that thing. No, I won't be able to do that. It's not because I don't want to, but it's because my priorities are saying that this is the day and time that I watch my VODs. Why am I watching my VODs? So I can repurpose them so that other people can see my work and I can continue to grow and engage in my community. Everything is always going to fall back and be grounded in that bigger goal. And that leads me into well, no, the next point is how do we work on better organization? You just gotta get in there, get into the zone and map it out. Map out your outline, map out your vision. It's powerful to start at the end, right? What is the biggest, like, dream big? What's the biggest vision you have for yourself? I want to be the person that everyone knows that they can come to and see live entertainment, live gaming. They can feel good. They can express themselves and be themselves. I want to be that person for people. Okay, if that's who you want to be for people, then that's your vision. Now we're going backwards and planning out, okay, so in my streams, I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk about these things. I'm going to play these games, whatever it is that you're doing, right? So now when you go and do the stream, you do those things. And in order to continue retaining that audience and capturing those people, when you go back and watch the VOD, you are pulling out those specific moments that you know are going to continue filling that story. I'm that guy, I'm that girl, I'm the one that you come to for this particular thing. So that leads into, how do we get really good at goal setting? Just first ensure that everything that you're doing is grounded into that bigger goal. That is your foundational goal. That is your North Star. That is your compass. If you start to veer off track of that, that's when you know, okay, I'm getting distracted, I'm doing too much, and I need to make sure that what I'm doing is grounded in my goals. Okay. Um, the other thing, so we talked about consistency, just like in the mind, priority management and time management, organization, and goal setting. So now that we have those things set in place, right? Now we got to be consistent on our chosen platforms. Retro talked a lot about the different social media platforms, okay? Or the different platforms where you can share your work. There's a difference between social media and other platforms. Like, I don't really consider that Twitch is a social media platform. It's a streaming platform. It has elements of social media, but Instagram, TikTok, those are social medias, right? So you want to just get clear on which platforms do I really want to use. Most of us here, I believe, are on Twitch, but there are so many others that you can take advantage of that you can also flourish on. Okay. It does not need to be every single platform. All right. There's so many things out there. Don't spread yourself too thin. But remember, where attention goes, energy flows. So send your energy where you feel best, where you feel like you're getting the most growth. Not just, look, y'all, not just my audience is growing, but also where you're growing as a creator, as someone who engages with the audience, you'll feel it. it might feel different on other platforms than it does on, and I'm not saying that if it feels icky on one platform, that means don't engage there. That could still be a point of growth and learning for you, right? But it doesn't need to be every platform. Just do it where you feel like you are getting the best engagement, where you're growing, where you resonate with the audience and where they're resonating with you. Okay. Because that's gonna save a lot of time. It's also gonna save a lot of headache. All right. We're just trying to like be all over the place. Especially if you have other things in your life going on, like a 9 to 5 job or family commitments, school, and things like that. um, you got to make sure that you can manage it because engagement matters, and that's how you connect with people and keep them to keep coming back. So keep that in mind for the platforms you choose. Like I honestly, I have a TikTok, but I don't like being on there. It's a lot for me. I keep hearing about how it's a tool that everybody can blow up. You can get a lot of engagement, but it's just not an effective app for me because I don't engage enough on there. So I just choose to put my energy in other places. So that's something else you can do. Learn yourself. There are so many different platforms out here. 1, 2, or 5 of them may be the best fit for you. And what is the best fit for you may not be the best fit for me, and that's okay. But this is about exploration and just being willing to explore what that looks like and feels like for you. So, as an example, for me, I like to write. Threads and Instagram as a combination is super powerful for me because I can engage with people who like to watch the videos or the carousels and people who just like to read text. And I can dual post on both platforms at the same time. So that also goes into knowing your audience, right? I like to write. So I'm on platforms where people like to read text. Editing long form content is something that I am working through energetically. Why? Because it's something that I just don't like to do. Why? Because I don't do it very well. It takes me a long time. Something that I can write in 15 minutes would take me 2 hours to shoot a video or edit the video if it's a live, right? So I'm learning how to kind of reverse engineer that. If I can bang out an article or a blog piece real fast, how can I then repurpose that content on a social media platform so that other people can get to know my work and I can start to build more community with people who like this kind of topic and who also may like to read more about it. So that might look like taking a fuller writing piece and then whittling it down to like a few carousel slides, not to dilute the message, but to just make it in a smaller chunk. So like on a social media platform, people can dig into it. Or it could be like me taking a written piece and then doing a voiceover on that and then posting that video with the voiceover and a pretty little graphic or visual onto my YouTube page. So I'm like just basically reading in a video format what I've already written, but I'm connecting with people who may not be into reading the text. They just want to listen or watch a video, right? So there are ways for us to work through these energetic barriers. Sometimes we might feel like we just are lazy or unmotivated, but it's a lot of times not those things, and more so um it's something that we can't really see it all the time, but it's like it digs in. It's like, am I going to be good at this? Am I going to be successful at this? Is this going to be something that's going to be a worthy investment? Or am I wasting my time doing this? Right. And so it's easy sometimes when we get into that energy to just stay with what feels comfortable. But the growth comes when we push ourselves, right? The growth comes when we push ourselves to do it even when it's hard, to learn how to do it or to even step by step build the habit of it. Okay, even when it's hard. So that is also going to support you with building the consistency, just, finding a way to start. So let me show y'all something real quick. Something that helped me with the organization of it and just like building it into my like the building it into my schedule. I'm not going to show all that one yet because I can't find it right there. But what I am going to show you is something that I do. And like I learned a lot from Retro Recap about this. Like Retro talked about like batching the clips of you, especially if you're on a platform like YouTube or even I don't know. I think you can do it with certain things on an Instagram business account, maybe, where you can schedule your stuff. It is a game changer and lifesaver to be able to go into that YouTube studio and upload all the clips and then schedule them and then just wipe your hands and walk away, knowing that for a full month straight, you are posting something on a consistent basis. It feels so good. It's such a good tip. And definitely use that and definitely build that into your routine if you can, if it resonates. So, am I sharing my screen? Help me out, y'all. What is going on? All right, bang. Okay, I think I am now. All right, so look. So this is an example of how I outlined so when I outline my streaming, I do it like for the entire week because I don't stream every day. So I just basically have a list of all the things that I am desiring to do for that week, whatever is going on, like things I want to teach, things that's going on in the news that I want to talk about, games I want to play, links I want to share, whatever it is, y'all, right? And I have all that stuff down. So check it out. I can zoom in a little bit, I think. Ooh, that's not too much. All right, so I start with the pre-production of it. This is the planning. All right, I gotta go into this was when I was in what you call it, Streamlabs. I'm going in there, making sure that I got everything going on, checking the commands, making sure I got my Spotify premium set up so that we're not getting ads during listen to the vibes, right? I'm practicing being more fluid with my raid intro so that when I meet new people, I can introduce myself, right? We talked about making sure you're promoting yourself. That's a clip right there. If you get really good at when people come into your stream and you meet them for the first time and you bust in with like, hey, I'm City John and I do da 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 da, clip that because that's a great way for people for you to post it on your channel and people to get introduced to you and get to know who you are, right? So I keep that up there. These are little things I might want to talk about when people want to like know what I do. I don't always say all these things. These are just some points that I like to make sure that people know about. Then what's the production? The production is the live stream. What am I doing? All right, this is from if y'all were some of y'all were here for this. This is from the Retro Gang Raid Train. I was in it in February. I was a detour edition at the last minute, so I jumped on to do this. And I talked about, right? I have my boom, 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 boom. When I look at these things, it's easy to go back and say, okay, I can go back and clip this. I can go back and clip from here. I talked about these things, these things, right? Boom, post-production, clips. Under here, I will organize which ones I want to clip, go back and thank people who were supportive. Boom, shakalaka, done and done, okay? Feel free to copy that. Don't copy that. You know what I'm saying? But feel free to like copy the format, pre-production, production, post-production, 3 sections. That's it. That's all you need. Okay. As a basic way. Okay. Exactly. How Retro has his, how was your stream? What did you stream? Did you enjoy your stream? You see what I'm saying? Like it's something that is a consistent thing that just rolls off his tongue. It rolls off Retro tongue so good that it rolls off other people's tongues too. Okay. So because we hear it so much, right? Okay. Yep. Exactly. And it prompts a response. It prompts engagement. And now people are having a conversation with you. Let's see what else I want to say about this. Oh, y'all. Okay. Yes. Get help when you need it. It's okay to ask for help. Listen, part of how we are all here in this environment is because Retro reached out to ask for help with organization, right? Clarifying the vision, putting the ideas on paper, learning how to maximize your best working days or your best time for work output. These are all things that I've helped Retro Recap do in the past, which has maximized his everything. Okay. So reach out because I help out with all of that. I help out with all that except for editing. Okay. If you are an editor, I might be reaching out to you. Okay. So something else, some resources that you can use to support you with this. If time and priority management or like remembering what to do and when, Notion is like an AI calendar. And it's free. I ain't going to give y'all no resources that you got, pay for off the rip, but I do want to find a link for you. Um, it is, an AI calendar. So, just be mindful of your comfort level with using, AI for different things and, putting your information and stuff, just be safe, right? But Notion AI is like a calendar that can help you just stay on track with all of your goals for whatever time you set, like a week or, you know, what else? We talked about this resource before. Opus Clip it's like it's another AI. AI is doing its thing, right, y'all? But it's another artificial intelligence service that will take your long form content and clip it for you. I know Recap uses it. I have an account, but they don't always, for some reason, I don't know, they don't always um take my clips. Sometimes I think it's because John know. I talk about things that are definitely different in this world. So sometimes I think they be like, nah, we ain't helping you with that, shorty. This link is long as shit. Let me see if I can find a way to like this link is so long. Sign up, it's free. This link is long, y'all. Other editors. Oh gosh, y'all. Zoom won't even let me put this link in the chat. It's so freaking long. Y'all can just go there yourself. It's called Opus Clip, OPUS. Okay, because this is getting crazy. Other editing softwares you can use. Now, I told y'all earlier that editing is one of the challenges I'm working through, but Canva is very, in my opinion, easy to use. I'm saying this because if City John can use Canva and have a lot of success with making clips, then I promise you can. Okay. So you can even generate the captions for you. You can put it right in there and you can go to click where it says generate captions. Boom, your captions are there. You can make them as big as you want. Then, you get fancy and put your own touch to it. Thank you, Recap. Recap was saying, make sure in your clip that you're telling people where they can find you. You can do all those things with the text editor and in Canva and make your clips really come alive. You can also keep them organized in there in folders, right? So you can know, what you're working on, what has already been posted, what needs to be edited and stuff like that. CapCut is also a very popular editing software that people are using for free. Just be mindful because recently they changed their terms of service and depending on the kind of content that you create, you just may want to have a little bit more protection over your stuff. Like if you're a musician, okay, be mindful because they're like, we can use your music and not compensate you. So that's on everything, y'all. Read those terms of services on everything that you're signing up for. A couple more things before I close out. Other strategies for stopping the scroll, like how Retro was saying, like how I don't actually align with the whole people not having a attention span thing. I know that that is happening for reasons like that's. I know it's happening, but I know that we can get it back. So I don't like to speak into existence, but to accommodate for those folks who are in that category right now, use eye-catching captions. Like on YouTube, one time I put a caption like, "This is why your child gets on your nerves," or something like that. And it's like, yeah, because I want people to be like, yeah, tell me why they get on my nerves, right? I want them to stop and look at it. Um, you can also start the clip at the wildest part or of the conversation or just in the middle of the conversation. So people are just like, huh? Like, oh, say that again. And then like edit the clip to fill in the context of what the entire message. And use engaging sounds. People like that. People are sensory and we like to be engaged with the senses. Okay. So our where does my time go template so that you can know what I'm gonna show y'all. I told you I was gonna show you what this looked like, didn't I? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna get this. You want it's gonna force you to make a copy. I should be showing this on my screen, but y'all will be fine. Okay, so where does my time go? Use this to see exactly where your time goes daily. Make as many copies as you need to examine weekdays versus weekends, or if you ever need to do this again as your situations or schedules change. So remember that where attention goes, energy flows. Where we invest our time is usually where we will see the most activity in our lives. So this tool can support you with organizing your time in ways that are most aligned with your goals. And if you have not received the clarifying goals worksheet, I shared that a while ago. And if you would like to have that, let me know and I'm happy to share that with you as well. So you literally in this worksheet will just type or write down like what's happening. So like from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., I'm sleeping, right? 8 a.m., get up, wash up, eat, right? Get on Switch and vibe, vibe, right? Already I'm saying, oh snap. Maybe if I don't get on Switch and vibe until 2, maybe at 10 o'clock is when I can watch my vibes. Just an example of how you can work that out. Okay. It might look different. It might be like sleeping, get up, wash, work, right? And then that was not intentional. And then this might look like work from 8 until 4 or 6, right? So then you're seeing like, okay, with all of this time left, what can I do for the rest of, or how can I use or take advantage of my time so I can put my priorities in order? Okay. That is all I have to share with y'all today. I do have my offer. If you just want to talk more about this, if any of this was like, yeah, like I just really feel like I want to learn more about this and how I can make it real in my life, go ahead and schedule a discovery call with me and we'll get you right. So thank you all so much and we're going to see you next time. Peace.